Hi, and welcome to the VirtualPBX admin training for Dash. My name is Mike, and I will be going over a few different sections. First is how to log in. Then we'll also cover adding users, devices, phone numbers, working groups, and voicemail boxes to your account. As you'll see, the username is the email address you set the account up with. The password on initial setup is going to be emailed to you. Input that password. Once you enter into the account, you'll be prompted to change the password to something more desirable for you. And the account name is going to be the company name you created the account with. Next, after we log in, we're going to end up on the dashboard. This is a brief overview of the account and what you have set up, how many devices, users, phone numbers, and the different types of devices. So first, we're going to go to users. Under users, to add a user, you input their name, first, last, email address, and password. The email address has to be different. You can't use the same email address for every user. Here you can also set up the extension number and then settings to send credentials to that user if you choose, or you can hand them out yourself. Under these users, you can set them as an admin or a basic user. For instance, to change this person from a basic user to an admin, you go ahead and change it there. You'll notice that the icon changes from a plain person to a person with a tie and suit. Once you hit update, that person will now have the same admin rights as you do. To change them back, you just do the reverse. If you only have one admin on the account, make sure that you do not change yourself to a user. If that is done, no one will have admin access to your account, and you will need to contact our support team to fix that. Each user can have their own distinct extension number. This is good for business cards or for inter-office calling, so that you can dial someone's extension directly. Users can have more than one extension number. Sometimes this is prudent if you have an employee that left and you need calls to their extension to go to you. Each user can have their own phone number. That's a direct inward dialing phone number that will bypass any incoming call settings and go straight to that user. Each user can have multiple devices, including cell phones and VoIP phones. This can be added here. New devices. You can add a cell phone, a VoIP phone, or a desktop soft phone. If you're going to be using the VirtualPBX soft phone app or VirtualPBX desktop soft phone, please contact our support team. They will create credentials and send them to you. This can be done by calling in or sending an email to support@virtualpbx.com with your company name, the user you'd like the soft phone credential for, and if it's going to be for a desktop or a smartphone. So right now we're going to quickly create a cell phone device. The number must start with a 1, area code, and then the rest of the number. and then hit create device. That device will then be set onto that user. The other option you have is to add from spare devices. So if you have devices that are not assigned to somebody, you can come here and add a spare device. Once that is done, make sure you hit Save Changes. And next we're going to go over to User Features. When adding a new device, you want to make sure you go to Follow Me, and you will see the new devices that were added. They're also by default set to Do Not Ring. Make sure you uncheck those boxes for the new devices you want to ring. And you can go ahead and set the ring duration for however you want. If you wanted the phones to ring in sequence for this user, it's going to start with the top. You hit Distribute, and as you notice, the top device is listed to ring first, then it will go to the second, third, and fourth device. If you at any time want to change the ranking, you can simply click on the name, put it in the position you want, and click Redistribute, and that will make the adjustment. Make sure to save changes. Each user can have their own fax box. That will require a number on the account just for faxing, and that number will need to be assigned to the user. You can also use main fax box under incoming calls and have a main number for the entire account. Real quickly, we're going to go back to devices. There are two ways that you can add a device. The first way I just showed you. The second way is to actually go to devices. And this will tell you what device is assigned to what user and any devices that are currently unassigned. You can also switch off the device for that user if you need to. Next, we have groups. Groups are handy for if you have a certain department that you want calls to go to. For instance, let's add a group here. Once you create a group, you want to assign it an extension number. It doesn't have to be any specific number. Try not to make it single digit. Those are from menu options. And then you want to select the users that you want to be in that group. So just click and drag over the people that you want to be in that specific group. Now, once you have the group, let's go to members. Now, these are the people we just placed in the group. They're currently set to ring at the same time for the first 20 seconds. You can have it overlap. You can have it so that it rings somebody first and then overlaps and have it extended for that user. Or you can go to distribute. Just like in users, this distributes the users in this group. The top ranked person will be first, then it will go to the second and then third person in that order. Once this is done, the group will go to the next action. The caller does not sit for a period of time on hold. Each group can have its own direct phone number. So if you have a menu option that says press 1 for sales, and then their salespeople want to give the option for somebody to go directly to that sales group, You can do this if you have a business card that you hand out and you want it to go directly to the sales group, bypassing your main greeting. Again, you can assign each group their own number. Ringback is the media, either a message or music that you can set to play while the call is being rung out to. So call comes into the group, plays this music or greeting, and as soon as somebody picks up the phone, one of your users in that group, the ringback ends. If your ringback is only 30 seconds and your ring duration for the group is, let's say, 60 seconds, you will need to double the time of your media. Once the media ends, so let's say it ends at 30 seconds, the group is going to go to the next action. So you want to double up that, make it 60 seconds to match the ring duration. Caller ID prepend is so your users can see where the call is coming from. You can have it set to give a specific number or a short alpha message so that when a call is answered, they know what department it came from. This is handy if you have a person or people in multiple departments, so they know how to answer the call correctly. This prepend does not work for calls that go to cell phones, only VoIP phones. Next action. You want to make sure you enable this, and then you can choose the option of what voicemail box you want it to go to, if you want the next action to be a user, or if you want the next action to be going back to the main greeting, main menu, open hours, if that's how you have your system set up. Once you do that, you'll see an icon here that your next action has been set. Phone numbers. Your account comes with one phone number. Each additional phone number that you add to the account will be an additional $5 per phone number per month, unless that's an international number. Those are typically $14 per month. There is no charge for porting in a number. Porting out your number does have a charge. That's typically $25. Currently, I have no spare numbers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a number. Let's buy a local number and see if they have some 408 numbers in stock. Currently, we don't. If this happens, contact our support team and we will do a manual search in our database and try to find you a number of your desired area code. Once you have a number area code that will come up, you can go ahead and select a number you want to add to your account, or numbers in that case if you want to add more than one. If you choose to change your mind, go ahead and click on the trash can over here. Once you've done that, go ahead and buy numbers. Now the numbers are added to the account. Porting. This is where you're going to fill out a letter of agency that can be found on our support site, virtualpbx.com. Go to either vConsole support or dash support, and there is a PDF form on the lower right listed under forms that you will need to fill out. That can be filled out and saved to your computer, and then you will upload that LOA along with a copy of your current bill. You're going to put in your phone number here. Once you do that, the next page will ask you for the LOA and a copy of your current bill. Then that will be submitted once you finish filling out the information and checking the approvals, and start the porting process of your number. Now that we have some spare numbers on the account, we can go ahead and add one of those numbers by going to phone numbers for the group, add from spare numbers, and adding one of those numbers. Here you can also do the same step as we did under numbers, and you can buy a number. Make sure you hit save. If you don't, you'll see that my number wasn't saved to my group. Under users, same process. Buy numbers, add spare number, choose one of your numbers, make sure you hit save. Now that number is directly set to go to Tim and ring his device. In this case, Tim doesn't have a device, so it will go to the voicemail box set up. Let's go to voicemail boxes. Each user, when created, has their own voicemail box. This is accessible via your VoIP phone. This voicemail box is tied to your VoIP devices so that you can access them via your phone with ease. You also have the option of calling into your main number. If your main number goes to your virtual receptionist, you can hit *97 to access your voicemails. It will ask you for your password. That is the PIN number associated with your voicemail box. You will see here there are some voicemail boxes with just names. Every account has a main voicemail box that's created. Right here is the voicemail box that is associated with my user. Note how it says my user's name, voicemail box after it. That is one way of telling that this is directly tied to that user. Now you can make additional voicemail boxes, and they're still accessible, but they are not tied to the user specifically. There's no way to tie that new voicemail box to that user to notify you via your phone. Voicemail boxes can be set up to email voice messages to multiple users. For instance, if I want calls from the main voicemail box to go to multiple people, click on Advanced and Recipients and add an email address here, and then just click Add. Back under Edit, you can rename the voicemail box if you choose. This is basically the voicemail box extension number. You can, when you call in, it's going to ask you for the voicemail box you wish to access. So you call into your main number, goes to the virtual receptionist. You type in on your phone *97. The system will come on and ask you for your voicemail box number, and it will be any of these numbers that you see here. Once you do that, it will ask you for a PIN number. That's something that can be set right here. And then you go in and listen to your greetings. You can also change your greeting if you do decide to do it over the phone. the system will automatically prompt you the first time that you call in. So when calling in, entering in your information, after you enter in your password, the system will prompt you to state your name. So if this is for your user, you would state your name. That's for the dial by name directory. Next, it will ask you to record your voicemail greeting. At that point, you can choose to listen to it, re-record it, or accept it. And then that will be set up on your account. You also have the option of uploading a media file, no bigger than 5 megabytes, that you can upload to that user. So if you have a generic voicemail greeting that you want across all users, you can go ahead and do that here. Simply click on upload, then browse, choose the file. It will be listed here, and then click upload, and that will be set to your account. Next, choose the file that you name and save changes. Once you do that, you'll want to go back Give me 1 second. Once you have that done, you're going to want to go to options, and you'll want to have this checked, already set up. That way, if you call into your user and try to access the voicemail box for that user, it will not force you to re-record your greeting. It'll already be set up. Adding a voicemail box is very simple. So if I wanted to create a voicemail box for that sales group, so any call, excuse my typing, any call that goes to that group and is not answered, you can have the next action go to that voicemail box. That voicemail box will then can be set up to email everybody on the team the voicemail. Again, this just needs any number for an extension. Doesn't have to be specific. Can be if you want. Please do not make it a single digit. If you want them to press 1 to leave a voicemail, that can be set up under incoming call as a menu option, and I'll get to that shortly. And again, you want to set a PIN number for accessing. And there you go. Next, we're going to go to main number. This is where you can add a number as one of your main numbers for your incoming call. Each number is listed is going to have the same virtual receptionist greeting. There is no separate greetings for each individual numbers. Office hour strategy. This is where you can set it to have a 24-hour mode or custom hours of when you're open and closed. You can set office holidays. If you're going to set New Year's, one option that you have for the end of the year, you have the capability of doing a date range. Date ranges are fine if they're going to be in the middle of a month, but when it comes down to the last day of the year and the first day of the year, you're going to need to do single day. If you do date range from the 31st to the 1st, the system will think it's going to be in night mode for an entire year. So if you run into that issue, make sure that this is set to single day for the new year. Any other days during the year, you're fine to use a date range. So if you have a Christmas break that you're going to be gone with the family, you can go ahead and set those ranges. Next, we're going to go to incoming call handling. So notice green, open hours for the daytime. After hours, if you have an after hours, you can set it to have different options. So if you want it to go to the virtual receptionist, where they'll play options to go, let's say you have a 24-hour service, you can set up a group to go to that 24-hour service. If you have someone on call, you can set it to go to that person and then the virtual receptionist. Or you can set it, what most commonly people do is they have it set to go to a user, or as you can see here, you can choose different users, different groups. At the very bottom is other, skip straight to voicemail. This is most common. Call comes in, it's going to skip straight to voicemail, goes to a voicemail box. Holidays can also have a different strategy, so you have that option. On your account, you're only going to see 3. I'm doing some testing. This is why there's a 4th. This is not standard, so that is why you don't see it. So let's go to open hours. Incoming call handling, let's have it go to incoming call goes to the virtual receptionist. Here is where you can upload a greeting, do a text-to-speech, record over the phone, order a professional greeting. So the text-to-speech is you type in what you want the system to play, and it will read that and play it as a message for the incoming call. Uploading your own file. If you have a main greeting that you have on your desktop that you'd like to upload, here's where you can do it. Make sure that it does not exceed 5 megabytes. It can be mono if you need to make the file size smaller. It does not need to be in stereo. It can be in MP3. All files can be in MP3 or waveform. Record over the phone gives you an option to record it over the phone. Basically, you have a PIN number, and that's going to give you access prompt to be recorded. And then professional greetings. You can order greetings from a third-party vendor that we associate with. The greetings are done by professional voice actors. They are really well done. One of the tabs here, once you click on order, will take you to Snap recordings, and you can preview the voice talent. I suggest you do that if you plan on ordering any type of greeting. Menu options, main menu. You can set it so that it has options like 0 to go to a voicemail box, or somebody as a user that may be your receptionist, depending upon what you tell them in your greeting. If you want menu option 1 here goes to billing, so that goes to the billing group where I have a number of users in there that can be set to answer calls in whatever order you like. You also have the ability to have a call go straight to a voicemail box. So here you have the option for pressing 2 to play a message if you like, not just to someone's specific voicemail box, but you can have a voicemail box set up promoting something, and then at the end have it say, please leave a message if you're interested, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. That way you can find out who may be interested in a certain event you have coming up. Here you'll see a list of options. Again, you can have them go to users. Do not select devices or medias. The option will not work. The device will not ring, and the call will not play that media. If you need some media to play, it has to be uploaded to a voicemail box. So here is where, once you get this set up, here's where you have the setup to add a route. You can choose another option. Let's go with 4 here. And you have the ability to use a smart directory. What that is when you call in to set up your voicemail box, that's for the user directory. Also, the user directory goes off of the name of the user in the account. Once you've done this, make sure to hit Save Changes. So now calls come in. As long as your greeting reflects what is set there, then calls will come in and follow those commands. Main conference number. If you're going to set up conferencing on the account, it's going to need its own number. And main fax box number. Each number is going to need its own number for incoming faxes to the account. Feature codes. These are the different options. The main one that you're going to be using is checking voicemail here, *97. But this is other feature codes that you have within the system if you care to use call forwarding, hot desking, if you want to park a call. All right. And this will give you a view of your call logs. Just some basic information, incoming call, where it went to, how long. For non-admins, this is what they will see. Just very basic information. They'll see voicemails if there's any voicemails. If for some reason they need to work from home and they only have a VoIP as the device, or if they're going to be somewhere else, they can enable call forwarding. Have all numbers or all calls to that user forward to a specific number, and make sure you hit save when you do that. Also, they can change the email address associated with that user here. But as a user, they have very limited access to the Dash account. One thing that you'll want to do when you initially set up the account is set your caller ID. This is important for E911. E911 is the information that shows up when you call 911. The operator has this information and knows where to send the police. Different E911s can be set up for different users. This is the one for the entire account. Also, you can set hold music. And this is going to be either one of the media files that you've uploaded earlier, or a new one. If you choose to upload a new one, you can do it here. Make sure to hit save. This concludes the brief overview of your Dash account as an admin. If you have further questions, feel free to contact our support team. Thank you for your time and have a great day.